Hey everybody, Snestrix here, and today I will be counting down the top 10 Nintendo games that I believe need a sequel or a remake. This is my personal list, and I encourage you to leave yours in the comments below. This was a hard list to create as there are just so many great Nintendo games. But without further ado, let's begin. Topping off my list is Little Nemo the Dream Master. I fondly remember me and my siblings watching my mother play this game little by little every night, and we were just in awe of this game. Through the concepts of the dream worlds, to feeding candy to animals to use them as power-ups, it was really an amazing game that I would love to see a sequel to. Come on, Capcom. Even though it was based on a movie, I truly believe it could stand alone as a series. This game really captured the imagination, and I encourage you to give it a playthrough if you've never played it to experience it for yourself. At number 9, I have Super Mario Sunshine. This was a game I didn't play for the GameCube until later in the console's life due to its somewhat off-putting appearance to seasoned Mario players. However, it still managed to take my breath away. I was kind of on the fence with all these new Mario mechanics they were testing out at the time, but Flood actually added to Mario's mechanics instead of taking away from them. Not to mention, with the success of Wind Waker HD, could you just imagine Super Mario Sunshine in HD? Even if it was just a remake, I would still buy it. This game is solid, and the constant references to this game in other Nintendo titles assures us it's definitely not forgotten about. Coming in at number 8, we have Harvest Moon 64. This wasn't a game for everybody, but I believe it had something for everyone. You could raise animals like chickens, sheep, cows, and you even got a horse and a dog. You could grow crops and harvest them, fish, or just enjoy getting shit-faced in an E-for-everyone game. You lived the life of a farmer, and you could even get married. Even though your dad, who drops you off at the farm in the first place, never comes to your wedding. Why, Dad? Eventually, after you get married, you can even have a child. Though if you were hoping for a girl, tough shit because you can only have a boy. I always chose to marry Karen because, let's face it, she's the hottest. I would love to see a sequel to this great game, or even just a remake. It wasn't even afraid to look at darker aspects, such as the death of Ellie's grandma. Why, Grandma? Take Gray instead. In the words of my brother, that asshole does not deserve potpourri. Or potpourri. Whatever her name is. At number 7, it's Pokemon Snap. This game took an undeniably excellent franchise and put a new twist on it. Instead of catching Pokemon, you now took pictures of them. It's a lot funner than it sounds. However, it had a limited number of Pokemon out of the original 151 that you could take pictures of, and it left the game feeling incomplete. A sequel for the Wii U would work beautifully, but with so many Pokemon nowadays, I would be happy if they just stuck with the original 151. Or maybe they just could make different regions or something. All I know for sure is this was an amazing game. And another one like it may never be seen again, unfortunately. This game rocked. Sonic Adventure Battletooth for the GameCube was an awesome game with a great story, different gameplay depending on which character you chose to play as, and that soundtrack. Not to mention a dark Sonic named Shadow that we got to play as. And let's not forget the one thing most people remember about the game, chows. This game marked the revival of the Sonic franchise in my opinion because it pumped so much new blood into it. And it's a shame we never got a Sonic Adventure Battle 3. Instead, we got games like Sonic Heroes and, no, anything but that, Sonic 2006. It's too bad they've been messing around with the Sonic games so much instead of just sticking with what works. I would love to see a third installment for the Wii U. Yeah, I know, I'm breaking the one game per franchise rule. But I don't really count this game as a Mario game. It's way too unique to be just a Mario game. But what can I say about this game that hasn't been said a million times? Super Mario RPG is proof that you can change the format of a popular title and make it work really well. Not to mention the buttload of Easter eggs they put in this game. They really hit a home run, but sadly, we may never see the faces of Geno, Mallow, or Master Smithy again. I think they should have put Geno in Super Smash Bros. After all, they put that silly robot thing in there that was about as useful as Mr. Game & Watch or the Ice Climbers. But seriously, Nintendo, how do we not have a Super Mario RPG 2? I could be a bit of a dick right now and stop this song right here and have it stuck in your head for days on end, because that's just how awesome the Donkey Kong rap was. I have a bit of a weakness for Donkey Kong games, and Donkey Kong 64 had it all. Extremely fun gameplay, puzzles, guns. Seriously, fuck Call of Duty. Call of Donkey Kong, bitches. You could even use musical instruments as weapons, and talk about atmosphere. I know we have had other Donkey Kong games since then, but I don't really count those. I count those more of Donkey Kong Country games. But how long has it been since we saw K. Rool? Yeah, Returns was fun, but it was more of a tease than anything. So why haven't we seen K. Rool? I think the reason rhymes with pairware, but more on that later. This game could easily contend with the likes of Mario 64. It's just that damn good. Time to get rated M, you furry bastard. Yeah, that's right, Conkers Bad Fur Day. This game was just about as nutty, suggestive, violent, and most of all, funny as it got. And for Nintendo, this game kept you laughing till the end, and the gameplay was excellent. But there is one part I want to touch on. Remember when Barry dies at the end of the game, and you suddenly feel attached to Conker and feel his pain? Yes, that squirrel, you may take a nosedive into a mountain of poo for your amusement. The game went from the most funny, sarcastic, and entertaining shit on the N64 to slamming on the brakes and making you feel feelings. And Nintendo never started the engine back up. There were plans for a sequel, but we never saw it. Could it have to do something with pairware?
You don't really know what it is you have until it's gone. Gone.
Just 2 years after Ocarina of Time, we got The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. This game took a lot, as in almost everything, from Ocarina of Time, and it was still amazing. The series takes a really dark turn in this game, and if you're not familiar with some of the theories surrounding this game, I suggest you look up Game Theory and watch their Majora's Mask videos. This game left so much to the gamer's interpretation, and was absolutely beautiful. It was truly a work of art, using recycles from Ocarina of Time no less. With the hidden Easter eggs in 3DS games, they had better be hinting at something. If not, then you are a cruel, cruel company, Nintendo. Stop toying with my emotions. At number 1 we have Banjo Kazooie. This game was the very first game that I owned as a child. It was my favorite. I remember playing through Banjo Tooie and finally beating it and getting everything and saying, "I'll see you again in Banjo 3E." And as a kid I was ecstatic, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited for this game, but it never came. Only to be told that Banjo Kazooie was no longer owned by Nintendo, it was owned by Microsoft. Yeah, the company that built computers and did that kind of thing owned my favorite character. And then we got Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And if you say, "Oh, but that's the sequel," it is not the sequel. And there you have it. That was my very first top 10 video. I worked really hard on it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And before you say things like, "But SNEStrix, Sonic Adventure Battle 2 was originally for the Dreamcast," or "Super Mario RPG had sequels like Paper Mario," or better yet, "King K. Rool was in that racing game and in that baseball game," I already know. This is my personal list, and I just obviously didn't count those as sequels. I have a very specific definition, and yeah, no need to tell me stuff I already know. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, please like the video, favorite, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next one.